who have added some big bats to a club that has produced 4 straight 90-win seasons. Rockies, Rangers. Baseball is next. Welcome to the Subaru Series presented by Mike Shaw Subaru, and welcome to lower downtown Denver. The Rockies opening up a Texas two-step. 2 here in Denver and then 2 in Arlington against the always classy Texas Rangers. And good evening, everybody. Glad as always you are along with the former Ranger, Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman. This one ought to be a lot of fun, a good test for both clubs. The Rangers have not hit like they normally do. The Rockies have, and it's been Troy Tulowitzki, who was just named Player of the Month in the National League. If he didn't win, there had to be an investigation.
Yeah, you were afraid maybe that Charlie Blackmon might take a few of the votes away from him. But no, when a guy hits 400 for the month, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, and let's not forget he has not made an error at shortstop, he deserves to win. It should have been really a runaway.
And it perhaps was. Look at his numbers at home. They're stupid good. The Rockies have won all 5 home series. And the Rockies are averaging 7.5 runs basically a game. Tulowitzki's hitting close to 600, by the way.
Well, and that's really important, not only because that makes everybody else better, but I like the number at the bottom, 8.5 runs and then at home following a loss. That tells me this club can put losses behind them quickly. They're not going to dwell on what happened yesterday. There's nothing you can do about that. There's been some walk-offs. There's been some highlight moments here. And you look at this ball club at home. They wanted to come in this year and reestablish some dominance here. They have. They have the second-best record, only trailing Miami at home.
Absolutely. They've been terrific. So when we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about these Texas Rangers. That'll be next. Second interleague series this year for the Rockies. They took 2 of 3 from the Chicago White Sox in the second week of the Major League season here at Coors Field. Back upstairs with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. The Texas Rangers, at least when I think of them, I think of a team that's been to the World Series a couple times recently, and I think of a team that mashes the baseball. They're not really doing that so far this year, but they're winning.
They are. They're figuring out a way to win. They're 3 games over 500, which I think Ron Washington, if you asked him right now, he said, I got to be pretty happy with it. The amount of guys that I've had on the DL. They missed the playoffs last year. That's including winning over 90 ball games. But this is a club that tried to retool a little bit. They got rid of some guys. They got rid of Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler, and one of the guys they got back for Ian Kinsler is that man right there, Prince Fielder. Last 3 games have been better, but he's still only hitting .228 with 2 home runs and 11 RBI. So he's not doing what they thought he would, but one guy that is, that would be Sin-Chu Chu, leading the American League in batting average, 7 for 10, playing some stellar left field. Leading off a high on-base percentage, just under 500. They're hoping that the offense somehow finds a way to get it done, and I think that's really going to be the key in these next 4 games, is which offense continues to do it. Is it going to be the Rockies, who are hitting 34 points higher than the Rangers, or if the Rangers stay where they are, has a chance for the Rockies to win 3 out of 4?
Well, Ron Washington told us earlier, we got to get those middle-of-the-order guys going. He's talking about Fielder and Beltre. In the back of their baseball card, loaded with big-time numbers. Jordan Lyles will take the baseball tonight. He'll try to keep those numbers as they've been pretty quiet. It's the Rockies and Rangers. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Inova Cancer Care, treat prostate cancer painlessly in only 5 sessions with minimal side effects. Visit InovaCC.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Jordan Lyles has been a great story for the Rockies this year, and at home he's been outstanding. 2-0 with an .066 ERA as he jogs to the Coors Field mound. Rockies opening up a 2-game set here against Texas, and then they'll head on down to Arlington for 2 more against the Rangers. One of the keys to slowing the Rangers down is to keep Shin-Soo Choo off base, as Jeff was documenting a few moments ago. The new $130 million man, free agent signing. He was with Cincinnati last year. Southwest batting order for Ron Washington. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Former Rocky Josh Wilson will bat second and play second base. Then the great Adrian Beltre, who has put up enormous numbers in Coors Field. Prince Fielder, the former Brewer and Tiger, Alex Rios, Robinson Chironis, Leonis Martin, Elvis Andrus has been dropped in the lineup. He's been in a slump of late, and Martin Perez, a very gifted left-hander. For more on the Rockies' Jordan Lyles, who came over from Houston, his numbers are brought to you by Inova Cancer Care. Treat prostate cancer painlessly. Visit InovaCC.com.
Well, if there was a pitcher of the month for the Rockies, it would be Jordan Lyles. In the 6 starts, 3-0 with the 2.70 ERA. About 75% of the time, 74.7% of the time, he's getting ground ball outs. That will be the key tonight for him. Get that offense, or that offense of the Rangers, that pound that ball down into the zone. Use your defense. The first time through the lineup against Jordan Lyles, opponents hitting 140.
Well, let's take a look at the gloves behind him. Purple Monday, and Rockies adorned in their purple tops. Defense brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit ResponsibleByNature.com today to learn more. Cargo, Drew Stubbs in center. Brandon Barnes, as the Rockies loading up with right-handed bats against the left-handed pitcher Perez. Arenado, Tulowitzki had yesterday off. He's back in there. LeMahieu, Morneau, and Jordan Pacheco, who will do most of the catching. One figures in the 15-day absence of Willeen Rosario, who's battling the influenza bug, which can be really debilitating. Josh Rutledge also on the DL with that. So here we go. Chu steps in. First pitch is right there for strike one on the outside corner. Shin-Soo Chu's got pop. He had 21 home runs last year with Cincinnati. And a good fastball. He gets it by him. He's linked to Drew Stubbs of the Rockies because they were part of the same deal when Stubbs went to Cleveland from Cincinnati, and Chu went from Cleveland to Cincinnati.
Just different hitters. One hits left-handed, one hits right-handed. They just needed more pop from the left side with Chu. But he's just a classic guy that, you know, he can spray the ball if he needs to, but he can also turn on a pitch inside and pull with power.
Change-ups down low, 2-2. Well, look at this. We have the two respective hitting leaders in each league. Chu's leading the American League at 349. Tulo at 400, leading all of baseball. Here's the 2-2. And that just missed at 94.
It was just north of the Ford strike zone.
Chu's such an ideal leadoff hitter because he can run and he is patient, but he's a great hitter.
He's got the combination of all of that.
I think, you know, the folks in the Midwest certainly knew how good he was. Texas did their homework on him, and that's why you may have opened your eyes. Like, this guy got $130 million. Look up his numbers, folks. This is one of the better players in the game.
Well, it goes back to your scouts watching him, putting the grade on him, but also the front office saying just because he played in Cleveland doesn't mean he can't play, and it's a great start for Jordan with the ground ball out.
Soft ground ball out to LeMahieu. And that'll bring up Josh Wilson. Our home plate umpire tonight is Gary Cederstrom. And at first, Kerwin Danley, Lance Barksdale's at second, and Mark Ripperger is at third. And if I remember right from last year, Huey, even though it's 2-2, this group will do the game in Arlington, right?
They should. I mean, that's how it normally works, that they would stay together and follow us down to Arlington. They have to take their own plane, though. They have to take a commercial flight. They can't hop on either charter.
No, I don't think that's allowed. Quickly 0-2 on Josh Wilson. Wilson making his 16th start at second base. It's strange not to see Texas and Ian Kinsler.
Well, he'd been a fixture there for so long, and
They were trying to decide what they wanted to do with Kinsler. Do they trade him? Do they get rid of him? Because they had Profar coming along, and the Profar hurts his shoulder. He won't be back till the end of June, 1st of July.
On the ground to third, Arenado, and the tag is made. Good job by Morneau coming off the bag.
But also with Nolan, get rid of the ball soon enough so your first baseman can have a chance to make the play. His other option was just to set the feet and make the strong throw. But it's hard to argue with whatever way Nolan decides he wants to throw.
No.
It's good enough for me.
Now, if you saw your 11-year-old doing that, you'd say, hey, don't just run through the throw. It's not necessary there. Get your feet set and get a base underneath you. But
can't argue with him.
Most 11-year-olds are not Nolan Arenado. So here is Adrian Beltre, one of the great third basemen of this era. And also, we were just talking about Nolan Arenado. Nolan was so excited today in the clubhouse because the guy at the plate was his hero growing up in L.A. and that slam foul. That's his favorite player. That's right. All those years. He was Arenado growing up in the Anaheim area. And the guy he watched was Adrian Beltre when he was playing for the Dodgers.
You and I were talking before the game about Beltre and just his numbers and where he ranks with third baseman.
Well, I think, when he's done, he'll be a Hall of Famer. 0-2 on Beltre, high 1-2. He used to come here all the time when he was with the Dodgers, and he has done massive damage here. We talked about how David Wright has always hit well at Coors Field. Beltre's hit .399 with 16 home runs in his career at Coors Field, driven in 63. Strike three. What a wonderful start for Jordan Lyles as he catches Beltre looking. 2 weak ground balls and the punch out. Rockies lineup at the top tonight will be Brandon Barnes. Again, Walt Weiss against the left-handed Martin Perez loading up with righties. That's why at least initially Charlie Blackmon sitting it out. The Rockies starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Drew Stubbs will bat second. Tulowitzki will slide into the 3 spot for the second time this year. Then Cargo, Arenado with the 24-game hitting streak. Justin Morneau homered to supply the Rockies with their only run against the Mets yesterday. Pacheco, LeMahieu, Jordan Lyles, who has a home run among his 4 hits this year. For more on Martin Perez, here's Jeff, and his numbers are brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online. Oops, I said Inova Cancer Care. Let me correct that. His numbers brought to you by Inova Cancer Care at novacc.com.
Yeah, the 23-year-old coming off his worst outing of the year. He allowed a career-high 8 runs in his last start against Oakland, but he was the Rangers Player of the Month for the month of April. Interesting dynamic here. The Rockies have hit 28 home runs at Coors, lead the major leagues. Perez has not allowed a home run this year.
Well, he's
see how that plays out.
Yeah, and he's top 5 in the American League in inducing ground balls. Native of Venezuela, and he comes inside there at 88. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barnes faced him when he was with Houston last year, because of course Houston and Texas play every year. Well, now they play, they're in the same division, but they used to when Houston was in the National League. So Barnes was familiar with Perez, and he was singing his praises before the ball game, and he strikes out against Perez. 1 out, and that'll bring up Drew Stubbs. Rangers defensively brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Chu is in left. He can play right also. Leonis Martin has one of the better arms in the American League. Alex Rios is in right field. Beltre, great glove, though he's made 5 errors. Elvis Andrus is at short. And on the right side, Wilson and fielder with Robinson, Chirinos behind the plate. It's an all Venezuelan battery.
All 6 starts for Perez. Chirinos has been behind the plate.
And that's in there. 2-1 on Drew.
That's about where Perez will sit all night, is 91 and 92 with his fastball, but he has all 4 pitches in his repertoire.
To third, Beltre comes and gets it, and he has that great arm still.
Well, the player of the month is coming to bat, Troy Tulowitzki. Let's look at the stat pack for Mr. Tulowitzki. This is player of the month. 7 home runs, 22 RBIs in the month of April. Career highs, 32 hits. You name it. This guy has done it, and he's made it look so easy, almost like it's a video game. That's why his stats are off the chart.
Well, Troy this year is 40 for 100.
That's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, took a few math classes in college, but I can figure that one out.
I'll tell you something else impressive. He's walked 21 times. He struck out only 14. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's the good changeup, and it's a firmer changeup. It's not the difference isn't 10, 12 miles an hour. It's really only about 5 or 6.
Yeah, it'll be at 84 to 86 miles an hour, and the fastball, as I mentioned, 91, 92. He'll throw it almost a quarter of the time with that changeup. And it just has enough variance to get the hitters out in front.
Ron Washington was telling us beforehand, he's a guy that kind of got stuck at a young age. He just turned 23. He got stuck at Double-A, and they kept repeating him at Double-A, and finally they said, we need to challenge him. Maybe he's stagnated because he's not challenged. They moved him to Triple-A, and then last year to the big leagues. And now look at him, a 4-1 mark, 2.95 ERA.
Well, think about when he was in Double-A. I mean, he's an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid.
Which is real young for Double-A baseball.
Well, it's like taking a kid right out of high school and saying, yeah, go play with the big boys.
3-2. Last time a Rocky player was player of the month was when Tulo put together that ridiculous September in 2010 when he hit 15 home runs and drove in 40. Other guys, by the way, receiving votes for player of the month in the National League: Adrian Gonzalez, Giancarlo Stanton, Carlos Gomez, and a couple of Rockies, Morneau and Blackman. This is cued to second. Wilson's there, and it's a 1-2-3 start for Perez as well. We'll go to the second inning, no score.
No score, top 2 at Coors Field. There's number 2, the reigning NL Player of the Week and NL Player of the Month. Tulo was the NL Player of the Month in September of 2010. This time around, he did it early in the season.
Put in a lot of work in the offseason, so I think to have it be the first month is real special for me. I think early in my career, I got a slow starter, so I think over the years I've done a better job of having better Aprils. I think just my preparation, what I've done in the offseason really helped me prepare for this month.
Drew, Jeff, we should kind of reiterate, too, he wasn't hurt going into the offseason, so he could have a different program, and it's served him well.
It served him really well, and we've described it before. He has a very detailed regimen each day that he needs to do just to get on the field. It's preventive stuff, and I'm telling you what, Troy is he's always in great shape. He's a workout fiend, and he is absolutely ripped.
But I think Mark made an excellent point that he didn't have to rehab for anything. And there's a difference between rehabbing for an injury and preparing for the season. And so when you're able just to say, okay, I need to work on this baseball-wise, that helps your preparation for when you're ready for spring training. And you don't feel like you're playing catch-up the whole offseason.
Yeah, that's a great point. 1-2 on Prince Fielder. 3 hits yesterday. He was on base 5 times, in fact, yesterday, and that just missed.
You want to stay away from Prince Fielder's power, and then you'll play the shift to get him to try to pull a ball into that shift where there's the 3 guys.
In the air to fairly deep left field. Cargo will make the catch, a step shy of the warning track.
Prince is one of those guys, when he hits it, no matter what it looks like, you kind of hold your breath.
Yep. Prince jogs off, and that'll bring up Alex Rios. He came last year in an August trade to the White Sox, or to the Rangers from the White Sox. Rios has hit 13 of his last 15, a .373 average. He's one of the guys who has hit this year, along with Chu.
They knew what they were getting with him when he came over last year. He hit .280, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, but it fit their lineup, so they re-signed him.
On the ground to Troy, easy hop. 2 gone. Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. If there's a questionable call, instant replay will be used to determine the outcome. It's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. 2 gone, and the guy you know from the Cubs organization, Robinson Chirinos.
He was an infielder when I was the roving infield instructor for the Cubs. So I had Robbie for about 3 or 4 years over there helping him. He was learning how to. He was the second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, kind of all around. He could always hit, but had that body where you thought, oh, is this really going to work? And then after I left, they decided maybe catching was the right spot for him, and it's worked out.
Guess he's got a little Biggio in him somewhere, huh?
He's a good athlete. He's a real good athlete.
Yeah, he doesn't have a typical catcher's build. Chirinos hitting in that 6th spot. Two and 0 to right field, and Mr. Barnes is there. Second inning strong for Jordan Lyles as well. We'll go to the bottom half of inning number 2, no score. No score. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Cargo's going to lead things off. There's a reason we're showing you Charlie Culberson. Time now for the big hit presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. None bigger than Charlie. Saturday night, erasing a deficit with a 2-run walk-off pinch hit home run. What a beautiful moment that was. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $449. Visit Mako.com today. Cargo lines it to left, down the line, should be at least 2. And that's now a 7-game hitting streak, quietly enough, for Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, and he takes the pitch from the left-hander and lines it hard down into the corner. I mean, we said it, his swing is starting to get there, starting to come back, and that was on the outside black of the plate. And not many guys can cover with that swing, but Carlos can because his swing is long when it needs to be.
So Nolan Arenado will come up. He of the 24-game hitting streak. First base runner of the game. Now is a rocket to left from Cargo. Nolan checks his swing. It was not in there. So it's ball 1. Talking to Blake Doyle before the ball game. There's Blake, and he is meticulous in how he works with each hitter, and each hitter's different, so you're working on different things. And I said, what are you working on with Cargo, and where is he? And he said, keeping his head quiet, keeping it still. That's in there 1-1. And I said, you know, where do you feel like he is? And he put his fingers about a ½ inch apart. He goes, he's this close. And it looked like it there, didn't it?
Well, it did. And the key with keeping your head still, that'll slow the ball down coming into the zone. I think that's the biggest thing, so it doesn't jump out. And then you lose where you're trying to go. The thing with Blake, I see him every day. We're around the cage, and a guy will come out and walk over, and he'll talk to him. The next guy, so I mean, he's always carrying on conversations. It's not just standing behind the cage saying "good swing."
No, not at all.
We go back to the swing of Carlos Gonzalez, and just notice the head. Notice how it doesn't go down at all until he gets ready to swing, and then it follows the barrel. Just focus on this. That's all you need to watch during this whole at bat. That's what he's talking about. Not his head's not jumping up and down.
Good approach by Nolan there, trying to work that baseball to the right side if he can. Rockies have been good at building runs in addition to mashing.
Well, you have to, because the building runs works not only at home, but it works out on the road. And so that's where you don't lose your approach when you're out on the road, because you've figured out it's pretty solid.
2-2. And this ball driven high and deep left field. Stay fair. Gone. Home run. Nolan Arenado. Make it 25 straight. And give the Rockies a 2-0 lead.
What was my key back in the first inning? What did I say about Perez had not allowed a home run all year, and the Rockies had 28 home runs, make that 29 home runs now at home. I mean, you have the hit streak for Nolan. It's done in this second inning. He's got that going as he moves forward. But you also have the 2-0 lead on a guy that doesn't give up home runs.
This ball pulled toward the hole. Diving stop Josh Wilson, and he steals a hit from Justin Morneau. Had not given up a home run, as you said, all year. And then the bomb to Arenado.
And on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, it is just open the hips, drop the barrel of the bat to that zone, and keep the hands inside the baseball. last home run that Perez had allowed was to Evan Longoria on September 30th of last year.
Well, you know what third baseman get him. Jordan Pacheco takes a strike.
Now the leader on the list would be Kyle Gibson with 29 innings.
1-1 on Pacheco, and that's in there 1-2. All of a sudden, Arenado's just 2 games shy of Michael Kadyr's team record of 27 straight with a hit set last year. He's got so much kid in him. He's fun to be around, Nolan. He's got a lot of energies. We always talk about Cargo always bringing a bright smile to the ballpark and a fun-loving attitude. Nolan's intense, but that's Nolan in a way also.
It's good because he can balance it out. But I think I'm thinking at 23 that he's not stressed about this hit streak. It doesn't seem to affect him. You don't see it on his face. You don't see a different demeanor from him.
Rockies thought as he was coming up that they had something special. This ball's a rocket to second, but Wilson's right there. And I'm looking over there and I'm saying, what is he doing there?
When Jordan hit this ball, I said, this is a knock. It's by the pitcher. I mean, the shortstop should normally be right there. Look how far, or the second baseman, excuse me, should be right there. I mean, that's almost like a pole hitter on the right side. Jordan is not a pole hitter. This ball ate him up. I mean, he didn't get any leather on that on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. He got all stomach.
That let's be honest, that may have been a cup check right there.
I was trying to be nice.
I know. Well, Josh is okay, but I'm looking over there and saying, what's he doing there?
But you know the ball's hit hard when you're on the edge of the grass and you still can't get leather on it.
DJ at the plate, 2-0 count. It's funny because you're used to seeing shifts for certain guys. Prince Fielder,
yes.
You see shifts all the time. Cargo sees the shift a fair amount. Justin Morneau. Pacheco uses the whole ballpark. He's not a power guy. He's a gap-to-gap guy. On the corner.
I mean, to me, he's just like DJ, and they're playing DJ not up the middle. They're playing him more in the normal second base position.
2-1. With the advanced metrics that we have and the advanced technology from a video standpoint as well, you're seeing more shifting of defensive players, shading of defensive players, I think, than even when you played, Huey.
Yes, by far.
This ball's pulled hard at Beltran. High throw. DJ tried to get down.
He dropped it.
And they're saying that the out was recorded first by Prince. The crowd doesn't like it. Walt's on the jog out there to visit with Kerwin Danley.
Still have to have control of the ball. Okay, so DJ's coming down.
Let's see the ball tag. Okay, now how quickly does the ball come out? That should be safe. He should be safe. He's got to secure the baseball after the tag. You almost need to do it. Well, no, because that's not a. You almost need to do it in fast motion, and let's see what it looks like moving a little quicker.
I mean, this isn't even the old transfer rule. They got that ball still in his glove. He doesn't reach in for it. This could be overturned.
Yeah, the umpires are going to take a look, and it's big.
It's big because you have the pitcher coming up next, and you can flip the lineup.
You can flip the lineup, but also keep in mind who the pitcher is. It's Jordan Lyles. Well, this manager's challenge is brought to you by Subaru's EyeSight driver assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives peace of mind to every drive. And by rule, I mean, Texas started off the field, and the new rule is you can't leave the field. So you have literally 7-8 defenders standing on the third base line.
That was some athleticism from DJ to try to avoid the tag.
There's no question that the tag was applied.
Yeah, but
it's real speed. I think is interestingly enough is the one you really got to look at. Did he complete the tag before the ball popped out? I don't think he did.
I don't think so either, because you see the ball coming out of the glove like a snow cone.
So they're looking at it in New York. But Prince doesn't feel good about it, I guess, because he's already wandering back to his spot.
Well, they can see it up on the big board.
This is wild. Prince is kind of wandering back toward first base, and now here's the indication. That's going to be the 6th error on Adrian Beltre, which is most unusual because Adrian Beltre is one of the best defensive third basemen in the game and has been for a long period of time. It's an errant throw.
Just bad. He worked underneath it. The ball sailed on him. Dropped the elbow. DJ hustling down the line. But just look at the reaction of Prince. He picks up the ball. He goes back and touches DJ. That tells me that he knew he didn't have that ball secured.
I'll tell you what,
the player doesn't lie.
And also, here's Jordan Lyles. We know what he can do with the bat. Takes a strike. Fortunately, DJ didn't get hurt on that because he kind of came down awkwardly.
Looked
reaching
awkward
for
on
the bag with the knee. Yep. But apparently he's fine. Fine with the bat is how you describe Jordan Lyles.
Well, 4th in the National League is batting average. But this Wednesday shot off of Josh Colemanter, that was a no-doubter.
Yeah, that was a 420-foot home run. That wasn't a wall scraper.
That's why he gets changeups now.
Yeah. Batting average among pitchers. Matt Cain just went on the DL today for the Giants. Remember, he cut that finger?
Yes. Right before his last start.
And on the inside corner for a strike. Good inning for the Rockies. A double by Cargo, and Nolan Arenado hits one in the seats. 2-0 Rockies. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive. Ford, go further. By Bluebell Ice Cream, celebrating National Ice Cream Month in July. Try our newest flavor, Rock Slide Brownie, and celebrate with us today. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Rockies off to a 2-0 start. Nolan Arenado, wouldn't you know it, in the middle of it. For Nolan, he has a 25-game hitting streak as he hits his 6th home run of the year. Shortening up to bunt was Leonis Martin. You got to respect his speed. That's why Nolan is in on the grass and will remain so as the first pitch missed from Jordan Lyles. And this is popped up. Left center field. Tulo going out. And Troy's got it. Elvis Andrus coming up. Hey, fans, we'll answer your questions during Toyota Talk in the 5th inning. Text Toyota followed by your question to 720-720. Again, that's Toyota Talk in the 5th inning.
This is an unusual spot for Andrus to be hitting.
He's used to being at the top of the lineup, but he's been scuffling. That's why he's been dropped down the lineup. He's 5 for his last 49. That's a 102 average.
He won't hit 9th without the pitcher. That's where he hit the last couple days out in Anaheim.
It's where you hope you have a big advantage on the American League clubs when they come to Coors Field. The Rockies, especially when you have a Jordan Lyles in there. Perez is going to have his first at bat of the year. Rangers pitchers last year were 0 for 19. It sounds a lot like the Mets pitchers.
Yeah, now the Mets pitchers have it a little bit worse. They're 0 for 51 this year.
Did they get? I remember you saying 0 for 50. Was there one more?
Yeah, one more. 0 for 51. Dylan G took all 3 at bats yesterday.
And the Mets can pitch though, and they're doing it tonight in Miami. They're up 3-0 against a Miami team that scores a lot of runs, particularly down there in South Florida. Here's the 0-2, and that's a fair ball. First hit for the Rangers, and it's going to be a 1-out double.
He just pokes his bat out, hits this ball down the line. Looks like a pretty good swing for a guy that hasn't been doing too well in the last 50 at bats.
Got the interesting beard working. A little unkempt, huh?
A little. It is not as clean as Charlie Blackman's.
So here is Martin Perez. And all Ron Washington said, when we go to a National League park, I just want my pitchers to get the bunt down. Now he does it.
Good.
That's a little closer than you thought. Charlie, or excuse me, DJ fired it. Or excuse me, it was actually Justin Morneau took the throw. He fired it back across the diamond. So there are 2 outs. Shin-Soo Choo coming up. The Rockies catch a break in this 4-game set with Texas, 2 here, 2 there, in that Yu Darvish, who is as talented as any pitcher in baseball, threw yesterday, beat the Angels 14-3. So the Rockies will not see Darvish.
I still go back to that spring training game we saw 2 years. Was it 2 years ago? 2
years ago. We sat. We weren't working that night. We were sitting right behind home plate.
You and I were just looking at each other like, wow.
Well, it wasn't just us. It was guys like Tulowitzki and Cargo and Todd Helton who had to hit against him. And he, at one point, I think he struck out that threesome on 9 pitches.
Right.
Josh Wilson's on deck. Choo is red hot. Not to disrespect Wilson, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lyles doesn't give Choo anything to hit here.
Well, plus you have right on right with Wilson and Lyles.
You got one guy leading the American League in hitting at just under 350, and then you have Wilson, who's kind of a part-time starter, batting 250. And there's, well, it's on the corner. 3-1. Rockies up 2-0, top of the third, 2 outs. Elvis Andrus at third base. And that's a strike. 3-2. Chu didn't like either one of those calls.
Both pitches in the same spot. Two-seam fastball running away from Chu. He's called it 2 times in a row. Make it a third. Go back out there again.
I'd take it even more off the plate. And if you walk him, so be it. Chu, 31 years of age, from South Korea. Wow.
That might have been better than the other 2 that were called a strike. That one was up.
And you can see the 3 pitches, 2 that were called a strike. That one just off the plate also.
Boy, from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo was framed like you wanted from Jordan. Tried to pull it back in. But that's not the worst thing. As you mentioned, Wilson hitting 147 against right-handers. Just 5 for 35.
And throw a good sinker to him like that.
Yeah, for a great deal, be sure to ask about the Rockies Sweet 6-pack with savings of up to 15% off the regular price.
Josh Wilson back in 2006 with the Rockies in Colorado Springs, hit 306, excuse me, 307, 10 home runs that year. 0-1. That's 0-2. You know, for Lyles, this is they're all important starts. Put a little retribution on his mind. Houston, when they were in the National League, always played Texas, as you know. He was 0-5 with a .982 against the Rangers
in 6 starts.
So he wants to say, guess what? I'm a new guy. 0-2 runner going, and Chu's going to steal second. Rangers lead the American League, by the way, in stolen bases.
That's their 28th stolen base, 3rd for Chu. Tim Bogar, the bench coach, standing right next to Ron Washington a moment ago.
One, two. Got it. Good pitching by Lyles. Smart pitching as he strikes out Josh Wilson. Rockies will carry a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the 3rd. Rockies up 2-0 on the Nolan Arenado 2-run home run. They'll have the top of the order here in the third inning against Martin Perez. Time for you to tweet us your Rockies fan photos using the hashtag #COFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Martin Perez struck out Brandon Barnes his first time up, and that pitch is fouled back.
But for Brandon, 333 average leading off an inning, 7 for 21. Asked him today how he's feeling, because he's been a little bit under the weather with a cold. He said finally starting to feel a little better.
1 ball, 1 strike. He's looking for his first career knock against Perez, 0 for 6. How about Perez talking about how good he's been? Now, his last start, Jeff mentioned, against Oakland was rough. He gave up 8 runs on 8 hits and 4 2/3. The previous 3, 26 shutout innings, back to back for the first time in Ranger Senator history. Back to back 3-hit shutouts. This ball's pretty well hit, and it's misjudged over the head of Leonis Martin. And it's a leadoff double for Barnes. He just flat did not realize how well that was hit.
No, that was a straight L turn. Once he realized he wasn't going to catch it, just watch the jump or lack thereof. I mean, he's going to come in this way and then have to go back over here. I mean, it's not the route. Comes in, now he's saying, I'm in trouble. I have to just pick it up off the wall. Hey, he'll take it.
That's a bad.
I don't care what ballpark you're playing at. That's just a bad read
by a good outfielder. Martin has a good reputation. Drew Stubbs up there. Rockies back-to-back innings with a leadoff double. Last inning it was Cargo.
They might try to lay down a bunt here.
Yeah, I like that play.
If you push one to the right side, then it becomes a foot race between Martin and Fielder and Stubbs to the bag.
One on Stubbs. Rockies just won 3 of 4 from the Mets. And that's punched to right for a base hit. Barnes gets a good read and a stop sign late from Stu Cole as he was eyeballing how quickly Rios got to the baseball. Good move by Stu Cole. And it's first and third, nobody out.
Just a good piece of hitting from Drew Stubbs. Gets a curveball that hangs on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Lets the ball travel deep into the zone and then takes a top hand off the bat to get a little extra length on the barrel. Look at the outfield arm, since we don't see the Texas Rangers very often. For Chu in left field, the top line, the orange colored one, that's the arm strength. The accuracy is about average. Martin in center field is above across the board. And then Rios, the reason they stopped him, first of all, there's no outs. You don't want to run into an out at home, but he's got a strong arm.
And Chu's played a lot of right field. And that's why Jeff has his arm. It's well above average in left field. Here's Tulo. Troy hit a ground ball to second his first time up. Ball 1. Good to hear those Chulo chants again. So patient. We pointed this out about a week ago that he's been more patient this year than at any point in his career.
And that's leading to a higher batting average with runners in scoring position, 464. The head staying still, which we talked about with Carlos Gonzalez. He's patient because he knows he has other guys on this team that can do wonderful things.
And now it's a 3-0 count. Carr goes on deck.
That's the number I alluded to just a second ago. 464.
Rio's in there, 3-1. Perez has walked just 12 and 42 2/3.
Had a whip of 1.08 coming into the game.
Here's the 3-1, but first a check on Stubbs at first.
Good speed at third and first. Chirinos behind the plates, throwing out 5 of 13 would-be base stealers, 38%.
Bogar handling the running game. 3-1. That's going to go foul. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow at @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special. And the Rockies, of course, score 7 or more in a game. And after losing a game at Coors Field this year, they average 8.5 runs in their next game.
11 out of the 16 home games, they've averaged more than 7 runs.
11 and 5 on their home floor, as you say in basketball.
Should be that way.
See if Stubbs takes off. Does not, and it's inside. And now the bases are loaded. Nobody out for Carlos Gonzalez. And the esteemed pitching coach Mike Maddox will, with purpose, walk out to the mound. Mike's been with Ron Washington for the last 6 years. One of the highest paid pitching coaches in baseball.
It is. I mean, they had to do that to hire him away from Milwaukee when he came over. Didn't ever have the stuff that Greg had, but had the mind to be able to translate it to pitchers.
And this is also the first time I've ever seen Mike Maddox. Now, oh, he did it. He usually, the whole conversation, usually puts the left hand on the shoulder of the pitcher so he makes sure he gets eye contact.
Yeah, and also encourage the guys. Say, okay, look at me. Don't just nod your head. Make sure we're making eye contact so you know what I'm saying.
Crowd alive and well on this Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way. Cargo ripped a double on the first pitch he saw down the left field line, and then came around on the Arenado 2-run home run to left.
They're playing the shift with Cargo, even with the bases loaded.
That was off the very end of the bat.
Rockies 7 for 15 with less than 2 outs and runners scoring position, or the bases loaded, excuse me.
One ball, one strike. Got Perez on the ropes here in the third. At third base, Brandon Barnes, he doubled. Drew Stubbs, a single. Tulowitzki just walked.
Good eye.
And you know what that shows me? You know when you're in a slump, Jeff, you don't have patience, especially when you see a crowd of runners out there. I mean, you want to do damage right away. Cargo is staying patient.
Yeah, and he's in a hitter's count now because of a 2-1. Instead of being down in 1-2, you chase his slider and change up whatever he wants to throw. But you want to drive these runs in, so sometimes you'll expand your own zone.
2-1. Hit foul at will. Broken bat, 2-2. Fastball finally showed up, and Cargo tried to drive it. 2-2. Gonzalez, by way of the double in the first inning, or excuse me, the second inning, has now hit 7 straight. A couple home runs during that streak.
Right off the label.
You can see splinters flying.
That tells me he was looking for a pitch away.
I would doubt he'll get a fastball here. That was a cutter or a slider. And his slider looks more like a cutter. That's one of the things Brandon Barnes told us in the clubhouse today, that it's more east-west movement.
Yeah, it doesn't have the depth where it's moving down out of the zone. It'll stay on the same plane as the bat, but those are also ones that are tough to pick up because you don't see any sort of sideways spin on the baseball.
Three and 2. Nowhere to put him, bases loaded.
That's what's nice for Cargo too, because he knows he has Nolan hitting behind him. Guy with the hit streak, he's hit a home run already in this game.
Outfield swung to left and exceptionally deep. Here's the payoff pitch. Bouncing ball to first. They'll get 1 out. So Cargo drives in the 3rd run. And it'll be 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. 3-0 Rockies for Cargo's 21st RBI. And that's why it's so important to get the ball in play.
The strikeouts are just empty at bats. But here you put the ball in play. You didn't hit it hard. 1 hopper to the first baseman, but you got the run in. The runners moved up to 2nd and 3rd. There's 1 out. And now because of it, they're going to have to put Nolan on with an intentional walk to load the bases again.
That will allow Morneau to hit with the bases full. Nolan's got 22 ribbies to go along with the 6 home runs after the 2-run shot last inning.
Well, the first 10,000 fans tomorrow will receive a coupon for a $1 hot dog. Get your tickets now. Hebrew National Dollar Hot Dog Day. First 10,000 fans will receive a coupon.
Justin Morneau, in his career, .252 against left-handed pitching. There was thought that, well, he wouldn't play as much against lefties after hitting 188 last year, but he's at .323 this year. On the corner for a strike. Such a smart hitter too, and he's told himself, you know, get a ball up.
Yeah, don't look for it down. If you want to pitch up, so you can at minimum hit a sac fly. But even if the ball is down and away from you, it's an easier pitch to hit a sacrifice fly on than one that would be down and in. Down and away, you can still work the body enough to get underneath the ball.
Inside, 2-1. Rockies really forcing Perez to throw a lot of pitches here.
I want to do that to a young pitcher that's pitching for the first time at Coors Field. Ball was in on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode. And that was a good 6 inches inside.
Here's the 2-1. Renault's got to get up the line, and low throw picked at first. Great effort by Arenado to try to stay out of the double play. Wilson able to apply the tag, and the Rockies had the bases loaded, nobody out. Ends up with the Rockies getting just 1 run, but they have a 3-0 lead as we go to the 4th.
On Roots Sports.
Yes, it is Cinco de Mayo, and the Rockies are up 3-0 on the Rangers. Here's we go top 4, and guess where we are? The Rio on the rocks here above right field. Mark Stout joined by the owner of the Rio, all the Rios, Pat McGockran. Pat, margaritas, the Rio, synonymous to me. How long have you been doing this?
Well, it's been 28 years since we opened our first restaurant in Fort Collins.
And what brought you to Coors Field?
Well, you know, we've had a great admiration for this ball club ever since they formed, and we got to know the Montforts because of our restaurants, and for years now we've been talking about the possibility of doing something like this. Actually, I think 1998 was the first time we had a conversation about it, and here we are all these years later, and it's here.
Well, it's a great space. You got the great bright green sign, and you got the Rio margaritas. What is so special about the margaritas you make?
You know, I think the best thing I could say is that you always have fun when you've got a Rio margarita in your hand.
Well said. I think everybody's having fun tonight. You also had mentioned to me off camera that a lot of your employees are here. This is kind of a celebration of a company that you said has been kind of going strong for 28 years.
Absolutely. A lot of people that have been with the company have stuck around for many years and made this company great, and they're here tonight to celebrate with us. We had our the first pitch thrown out by a Rio employee that's been with me for 28 years tonight.
All right, Drew, Jeff, a couple of things. There's a new Rio opening up in Frisco.
Yes, indeed. That'll be in September.
So that's happening soon. And also I found out that when the Rockies hit a grand slam in a game like Nolan Arenado did on Saturday night, it's half-price margaritas at the Rios, not the one at the ballpark, but at all the Rio locations.
That's right. And it actually happened for the first time on Saturday, so what a surprise. And we knew it was coming, but we just didn't know it was coming this soon.
Great job. Nice to meet you, Pat.
Okay, good to meet you.
All right, Drew, Jeff, Rio on the rocks. It's here at the ballpark.
We're going to be up there at some point this summer. Mark, thank you. My wife's favorite restaurant in Fort Collins. She went to Colorado State. That was her place. Ground ball grabbed by Jordan Lyles, and Adrian Beltre's the first out of the 4th inning.
Well, if you're going to be a sinker ball, ground ball pitcher, you better be able to field your position.
He's just a good athlete.
He is. He just reaches out, snags it. Easy toss to first.
Shift coming as Prince Fielder comes up. Prince hit a high fly ball to left his first time. Rockies up 3-0. And a strike on Fielder. Tonight Prince is playing in his 537th straight game, which is by far the best streak in baseball. Billy Butler, who we'll see in a few days in Kansas City, is next, and Hunter Pence of the Giants, Votto of Cincinnati, Echeverria with Miami. This is past a diving LeMahieu in short right field, so he beat the
the
shift on that particular swing. But anyhow, here's the swing. Prince would have to not miss a game until about June or July of 2026 to pass your old teammate Cal Ripken.
Yeah, or another 2,095 games.
Crazy. One out, one on, just the second hit against Jordan Lyles. Alex Rios, who hit a bouncer to short his first time up. And this is to third. Nice pickup, Arenado. Good feed on the first. Double play. 5-4-3. And Jordan Lyles walks off. The Rockies leading 3-0, middle of 4 at Coors Field, where everybody is in a celebratory mood. Here's tonight's First Bank game recap. Paying for checking's a thing of the past. Get First Bank free checking at efirstbank.com. Cargo's got a double. Run scored in an RBI. Scored a run on the Nolan Arenado 2-run home run. And that extends Nolan's hitting streak to 25 games. First home run Martin Perez has given up this year. And his first pitch in the bottom of the fourth to Jordan Pacheco misses. Pacheco hit a line shot up the middle. On one hop, Josh Wilson was stationed right there.
Back there again this inning.
Yeah, took a hit away. That last inning, by the way, for Lyles, a 6-pitch inning.
Same positioning. Pole at second base and opposite field in the outfield.
Rockies have played 5 home series. They've won them all. And they've won the opening game in all 5 home series.
So won 13 out of the last 19 games. They're doing well at home, but they're racking up the W's as evidenced by the record at 19-14.
This ball's hit hard. Good pickup by Elvis Andrus.
Well, Jordan should have 2 knocks tonight.
Yep. Baseball gods owe him. Well, I was checking this out today on MLB.com. The power poll, which comes out every week, best teams they line up in baseball. The Giants are number 1. The A's are number 2. Look who's number 5. And about 3 weeks ago, they were 19th. The Colorado Rockies, rated right now, for what it's worth, as the 5th best team in baseball. We extended it out 7 spots to include the Dodgers, who are at 18 and 14. So 3 of the top 7 in baseball in this week's power poll reside in the National League West.
Shows you how tough it is with all the pitching and the offense to go along with it. The Giants are 20 and 11. The Rockies 19 and 14. Dodgers 18 and 14.
They're in a seesaw battle in Pittsburgh. The Giants are. It was 9-7 a moment ago in the 7th. It's now 9-8. Here's Jordan Lyles with 2 outs. Takes a strike. Notice with Matt Cain going on the DL, his scheduled return, if he comes off in 15 days, would be at Coors Field.
What's his pitching hand that he cut?
So we'll see. 1-2-3 inning for Perez. 3-0 Rockies. Customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. With Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. We're off to the 5th inning. Jordan Lyles trying to win for the 4th time this year. He's not lost a game yet. He's unbeaten at Coors Field with a minuscule 0.66 ERA. It's also our Toyota Talk inning. Robinson, Chirinos will lead things off, then Leonis Martin and Elvis Andrus. 6, 7, and 8 for the Rangers. First question: do American League starters work more innings than National League starters? Question for Grant. Typically they do.
Well, because you don't have to worry about pinch hitting for them, even if you're trailing in the ball game. A lot of times I talk about it with American League managers. You fill out your lineup, and then the big question you have is, when do I take out my starter? It's not necessarily, well, I need to pinch hit for this guy or double switch. And that's why, on average, the American League starters would go just a little bit longer than the National League guys.
Jeff, who's the best third baseman you ever saw play? Dave and Aurora.
Wow, I've said this a lot lately privately, but Nolan, honest to goodness, is one of the best I've seen at third base. I mean, I had Steve Buechele down in Texas. There was a really good third baseman. Kelly Gruber up in Toronto was pretty good. But the plays that Nolan can make, any style, any type, I'm not sure I've seen any better.
1 ball, 1 strike on Chirinos. That's a strike. 1 and 2. Who votes for the National League Player of the Month and Player of the Week? Christian. We actually, a lot of broadcasters do. Jeff and I voted for Player of the Month in the National League in terms of pitcher and position player, and also rookie pitcher and rookie hitter in the National League.
And we get a list that has it, I don't know, sometimes 8, 10, 12 players or pitchers on that list.
Candidates,
yeah.
Guys who performed well in the month. It's not like you're doing your own, research on every guy that's had a decent month. They do it for you, and then it's not just comparing stats, because we see a lot of the guys on a regular basis. And a strikeout of Chirinos, and that is strikeout number 3 in the ball game for Jordan Lyles.
To go along with 3 flyouts and 7 ground ball outs. Well, the question is, Lyles earned a permanent spot even when Chatwood and Anderson returned. Well, I would think so. But the thing you have to look at is both Chatwood and Anderson are at least 2 months away from being able to come back. Today, Tyler Chatwood went on the 60-day DL.
Yeah, we'll show you that move in a moment. 0-1 on Leonis Martin. Watch how little Jordan Pacheco has to move his glove. Wherever he sets his target, Lyles has been hitting it. Here's the move the Rockies made earlier. Nick Massett, former Cincinnati Red, who's been out of Major League Baseball the last couple of years, first an injury and then a very serious situation that was corrected, was brought up from AAA Colorado Springs, where he hadn't given up a run. Ryan Wheeler was sent back down. Tyler Chatwood, as Jeff mentioned, transferred to the 60-day. So they'd make room on the 40-man roster for Massett, and the Rockies wanted an extra arm in their bullpen. They get a tough guy who's got a ton of big league experience in Massett, who was throwing the ball well, who threw the ball well during spring training. And think about it, after tomorrow, you're going to American, well, you're going to go to Cincinnati also, but then you're going to be in Texas for 2, and after Cincinnati, you're back in an American League ballpark. So heavy pressure on the pen and less need an American League ballpark for 5 position players on the bench.
Right, and you could even get by in those 3 games with just 4 guys and have that extra arm out there. That's the big thing. Just try to relieve some of the workload for the bullpen. Plus, Nick deserves it. As you mentioned, he's worked hard to get back after a couple of setbacks the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's a good story. How did the Rockies acquire Jordan Lyles? Jordan Lyles was part of the Dexter Fowler trade this winter. Brandon Barnes and Jordan Lyles came for Dexter. Hard on the ground at third, and that's going to be a hit. The only thing that, in my mind, Arenado could do is what he did, knock it down with his chest, because there's no way that was going to be a clean hop.
No, and that's, you act like a goalie in hockey where you're just trying to block it, or maybe a catcher. You can't come get it, and it goes off right off the wrist. You don't stick the glove or your palm all the way down into your glove, and that was off the wrist, and they are going to score that in air. That's a tough one for Nolan.
Perez takes ball 1.
Be the 6th error of the season.
American League Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month, the same guy, Jose Abreu of the White Sox. Pitcher in the American League was Sonny Gray of the A's. National League Rookie Player of the Month was Chris Owens. One and 2. And Jose Fernandez was the National League Pitcher of the Month. How'd you do? Did you take Fernandez? We both took Tulowitzki.
Yeah.
That was obvious. And we both took Fernandez.
Yes.
Everybody has followed our lead, I guess, huh?
When you have the right answer.
I think I had Owings, too. Weren't that many great candidates. No. Chris Owings, shortstop for Arizona. 2-2 on Martin Perez. And that's strikeout number 4. And through 5 innings, Jordan Lyles has been, in a word, outstanding. 3-0 Colorado, top of the order when we return. Welcome back to the Subaru Series presented by Mike Shaw Subaru. Rockies up 3-0 on a beautiful evening at Coors Field. After taking 3 of 4 from the Mets, Rockies doing the Texas two-step. 2 here, 2 there. Man, that is beautiful.
That's why we live here.
Is that Sloan's Lake? Where was that taken? Asking Tavis, our producer. That is Sloan Lake? Good deal. That's what I thought. Went water skiing there about 20-something years ago, Huey. I think it's the last time I went water skiing.
Last year on Chatfield.
You went on Chatfield last year? You slalom?
No. I just wanted to make sure I could stand up.
The only time I've done it, I got 2 sticks underneath me.
Yes.
Now, snow skiing, you know, that I do a lot of.
Not slalom snow skiing.
With 1 ski?
Yeah, unless it's by accident.
No. 2. I don't snow. Ski. 2 strikes on Barnes, who doubled to right center field. Scored the Rockies' 3rd run on the RBI ground out by Carlos Gonzalez. One and 2 on Barnes. And foul tips held. Second time Barnes has been struck out by Perez. 3rd strikeout for Perez. The day after every Rockies win, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. This ball's hammered by Stubbs to deep right, and it's going to be off the wall. And fortunately, Stubbs can fly, because that was handled very well by Alex Rios out there. That would have been a long single for a lot of players. 1 out double for Stubbs. That was loud.
That was loud, and that's why he had to hustle into second base, because Rios, he goes back on this, but he knows it's going to be over his head immediately. Right on the sweet spot on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, and then off the wall, Rios in one motion grabs the baseball, fires it back in. Drew's like, oh, I got to get on my horse.
Here's Tulowitzki. High and deep right field's got a chance to go. Gone. Opposite field, 2-run home run, Troy Tulowitzki. Make it 5-0 Colorado. About now, Martin Perez wants to get on a Southwest flight out of town. Hadn't given up a big fly all year. He's given up 2 tonight.
Troy hit a home run to right field down in Arizona on Tuesday night. This was his last home run he hit, so the last 2 have been to right field.
5-0. Wow. Here's Cargo.
Back to that pitch, and Troy, just notice where he catches this ball. Frees it right there. I mean, that's ideal, right on the sweet spot. And that's also staying behind the baseball. Not getting too far out on your front side where you're just swinging with your arms.
One and 2 on Gonzalez. Cargo a double and a run scored in the second. And he had the RBI ground out with the bases loaded on a 3-2 pitch in the third. This ball's walloped left center field. It's going to get down. And Cargo heading to second. Here's the throw in. Not going to get him. Second double of the ball game for Carlos Gonzalez.
Where both of them go to left field. That swing's coming back.
Coming back in this one, Huey, behind in the count, left on left against a real tough customer.
And he even took a ball that was inside where you would typically pull it, but because he's behind in the count, he uses the hands, keeps him closer to the body, hits it to left center field, and a hustle double.
8th double for Cargo. Time now for the Lowe's Never Stop Improving stat. Nolan Arenado's now hit 25 straight after the 2-run home run in the second inning. It's the longest in baseball this year, second all time by a Rocky to Michael Kadire a year ago. Two-run home run and an intentional pass for Arenado.
That's a sign of respect, too. Intentional walk to the youngster. Speaking of Michael Kadire, he's on the mend. Walt talked about him today, that his leg's starting to feel better.
Feeling better, but he's not going to play in the next couple of days at least. It's going to be a while longer. Making sure he gets that right. 3-0 on Arenado. With Morneau on deck. Rockies have out-hit the Rangers 7-2. The ball game in Pittsburgh, Huey, now tied up at 9 between the Giants and Pirates. Three and 1. The Pirates were up 8-2.
San Francisco's found a little offense. I mean, the whole year, not just tonight, because they scored the 9 runs.
Ball 4. Arenado walks. Here comes Mike Maddox again, jogging this time.
Well, as Maddox goes to the mound to have a conference, I'll tell you about the Rockies dugout stores. They're all place for all things Rockies, with the best selection of Rockies merchandise and tickets, as well as a limited edition exclusive collectible gifts with the purchase. There's 6 locations in Colorado. Call 303-832-TEAM. Get your gear on.
Morneau coming up. He's twice hit the ball on the ground to second. Actually, his first time he's robbed of a hit by Josh Wilson. I don't know if you realize this, folks. Nolan has started and played every inning this year.
I knew he'd started every game, but I thought maybe in one of those blowout games he's gotten a blow the last inning or two.
I didn't realize. I knew he'd started every game. I didn't realize he'd been every inning. Just hogging things at third. Nobody else gets to play.
One of those guys that if he wasn't playing, he'd be bothering you on the bench. When can I go in? When can I?
You just put him out there, right?
Tapping you on the shoulder. My turn. Can I play?
This ball down the line foul. That reminds me of an old partner of mine, Chris Spielman, great college football player at Ohio State, and he was a terrific pro with the Detroit Lions, most notably. And when he was a freshman, he was a big-time recruit for Earl Bruce, former CSU coach. Remember Earl Bruce? And he's on the sideline their first game, and Ohio State's getting the ball moved on him a little bit, and he kept pestering Bruce. You recruited me, put me in. Foul tip, and that's held. So Morneau's gone. That'll bring up Pacheco, and he kept wearing on him. Finally, Bruce said, "All right, go in."
I'm tired of it.
Never came off the field again for 4 years. He's an All-American. 4 punch-outs for Perez. Pacheco has hit the ball in the button twice. Nothing to show for it. Smoked one at the second baseman, Wilson, and last time he smoked one at Elvis Andrus. Outside, ball 1. Tulowitzki's hit a home run this inning. The Rockies are 6-1 in games he homers in. It was his 8th home run of the year. Catches the zone. 1-1.
Sean Tollison, the right-hander for Texas, up in the pen now.
Perez is 92 pitches in with 2 outs in the 5th. Ball's foul. Bat's fair.
Rather have it that way than the other way around. Pick up a piece of lumber. Cut fastball on the hands. It's the definition of being sawed off.
If it was hockey, you'd have to go with that until you could you
No,
get
you
to
have
the
to
bench
drop it. You have to drop it.
Yeah, you can't use half the stick. Drop it and just I don't know what you do until somebody got you another stick.
Just keep skating around.
Be up to LeMahieu to kind of toss him the bat. Strike 3. They get Pacheco on the outside corner in the inning. A double by Stubbs, a 2-run home run to the opposite field by Troy Tulowitzki. And the Rockies have a 5-0 lead after 5 at Coors Field.
Coors Field, Rockies now up 5-0 on the Rangers. Cinco de Mayo, we got to bring you the Coors Light Frost Brewed Cold Hard Facts, and we got to talk about Vinny Castilla and some of the greatest Mexican-born ML beers. There are 4 with 1,000 hits or more. Vinny, of course, is atop that list. When you think about the Rockies organization, 14 different Mexican-born players. One of them, Jorge De La Rosa, a current player. There are only 9 current Mexican-born MLBers right now. 2 of them are on Milwaukee. Only 1 is a position player, but of course Jorge De La Rosa is the pitcher for the Rocks. So Cinco de Mayo, everybody having a good time with the Rocks with 5 runs so far. Drew and Jeff.
Absolutely. The Rockies have also gotten another great performance from Jordan Lyles. He goes off speed to Shin-Soo Choo. Choo's 0 for 1. He walked and stole second in the 3rd inning. Look at that line. And that's a base hit for Choo. And Choo's going to end up in second, maybe even 3rd. He's heading to 3rd right now.
That'll go down as a double and an E8. Because Choo is rounding first the whole way, looking for second base. And then with the bobble, he just keeps motoring to 3rd. Finally goes down and reaches that ball. Then there's Drew off the heel. And then a little miscommunication. Choo's ready to shut it down at second. Sees the bobble. Finishes at 3rd.
He had a great weekend in Los Angeles. Went 7 for 10. And then he also walked 4 times and was hit by a pitch.
That's why his on-base percentage coming into the game was .482.
So it's, as you said, a double and then an error on Drew Stubbs. Ricochet back, no advancement. Josh Wilson's 0 for 2.
This is where you would just, I mean, you would trade the ground ball out for the run with the big boppers coming up behind
slider disappeared. It's 1-1.
That's a pitch he didn't hit his second at bat. Couldn't hit that slider.
To short. That'll get the run home. 5-1, 1 out.
That's what I meant by that. You would trade that run. You don't like to give up runs, but because of the air, third base, get the ground ball. Now there's nobody on, 1 out when you're looking at your number 3 and 4 hole hitters coming up next.
Here's Adrian Beltre. And Beltre lifts a single to left center field. Prince Fielder coming up. We thank you again for texting in your questions during our Toyota Talk inning. For more answers to those questions that you might have, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM. Prince tonight, a fly ball to left field and a base hit. Yeah, that's where patterns change, Huey. You know where I'm going with this. First 2 at bats, it was away to Prince, and then they bust him in on the first pitch of the AB.
And that was a call from Jordan Jordan Pacheco, because Jordan Lyles did not shake him off. They asked for that pitch in, and that's where he put the baseball.
They do it again, and this should be a double play. Tulo's got it, and it'll be a 6-3 double play. That becomes an unearned run, by the way, against Jordan Lyles as well. 5-1 is the score. Conveniently eliminated that single by Beltre, so that is an earned run, because he would have been on second base. You can assume he scores from second base on the base hit, so it is an earned run. 5-1 is the score. Well, as we promised earlier, here's the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #COFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. And there's a whole lot of Tulo jerseys in the house most nights. Tulo's got a 2-run home run tonight. Sean Tolleson in the 6th inning out of the Rangers bullpen will take over. It'll be the 12th appearance for Tolleson.
Workhorse for the Rangers. Fastball, slider, changeup for Sean. Go back to that double play for a minute. How about Troy just taking it himself? 39th double play that the Rockies have turned this year. Second in the ball game.
DJ LeMahieu will step up. I like to have the pattern changed against Prince Fielder, tied him up to induce that double play. That'd be nice for Tollison, 26-year-old, pitching for the Texas Rangers. He was born and raised in Dallas.
Depending on where in Dallas, it could be anywhere from just 10 to 12, 14 miles to the ballpark.
Played his college baseball down in Waco, about an hour and a half south of Dallas.
Baylor?
Yeah, Baylor Bears. Outside, then cut away. 3-1. Bottom of the 8th, Pirates now leading 10-9 against the Giants. That's a base hit up the middle.
That was a good aggressive swing from DJ. Couldn't control anything else but the fastball, so he comes back, four-seamer. That's as good as it gets for a hitter. Heading the count, four seams, not moving. Now it sets up a bunt possibility for Jordan.
He's swinging, runners going. Beltre, they got the out there and on to first.
And the only place that ball could have been turned for a double play with Beltre where he was playing even with the grass.
I still like the call by Walt Weiss with Lyles at the plate. 4-run lead, hit and run. That could have worked out nicely.
Yeah, but look how close he is. I mean, he's right here is Adrian Beltre. When this play happens, the shortstop's going to go over. Look at the hole that he had to hit through. I mean, it was sitting there for him. If he doesn't hit it right at Beltre, that's probably first and second minimum.
So 2 outs, Brandon Barnes, 1 for 3, doubled and scored in the 3rd. Tigers have gotten hot. They beat the Astros tonight 2-0 for their 6th straight win. On the ground to Prince Fielder, to Tollison. And that's all for the Rockies in their half of the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. The Rockies 5 and the Texas Rangers 1. The Rockies' upcoming schedule brought to you by CenturyLink. Link to what's next. Rockies will entertain Texas tomorrow night, and then it'll be a late night for everybody involved. Get down to Arlington well into the morning, and then they'll take on the Rangers in Arlington for 2, and then it's on to Cincinnati. That'll be an early morning in Cincinnati on Friday as well.
The 12th, first off day in forever.
And the Rockies actually get 2 off days that week and 3 over an 8-day period, which will be welcome. Alex Rios in the 7th, Robinson, Chirinos, and Leonis Martin. Rios a ground ball to short and a 5-4-3 double play. Jordan Lyles has allowed a run on 4 hits.
He's figured out how to pitch at Coors Field. His first 2 starts here, 2-0 with a .66 ERA.
Rios. You mentioned that Profar is on the disabled list. They've had 14 different players on the disabled list, or 13 different players on the disabled list this year, and they currently have 10. Rockies know all about injuries.
They've already had 34 guys appear in a game for the Rangers.
Crazy. Kevin Kuzminoff, who came up, did such a good job while Beltre was on the disabled list with a quad injury. He had to go on the DL. He got hurt, a back injury. Kuzminoff was the player of the week the first week he was back in the big leagues.
Filling in for Beltre. They've lost to injury 273 man games. That's the most in the major leagues.
Yet they're 3 games over 500. At 17 and 14. And you know what else? You think of the Rangers, especially down in the ballpark you played at. They call it Globe Life now. It's hot, and they're usually hitting a lot of home runs. They've hit 18 home runs, which is the 3rd fewest. Arenado's got it. 3rd fewest in baseball, tied with the New York Mets. Padres have hit fewer, which you kind of expect that, but the Rangers.
Yeah, that's not a park that you say, well, then nobody's going to hit home runs there. It's going to be.
Especially you got Beltre and Fielder. Rios hits home runs. Chu. Of course, Nelson Cruz is now on in Baltimore. Josh Hamilton's with the Angels, 2nd year there. Ron Washington telling us that he keeps in close contact still with Hamilton. He saw him quite a bit this weekend with the 2 teams playing each other. This is to Tulowitzki. 2 outs as Chirinos is retired.
Like this 2 ground ball outs to start this inning. Fans, MLB.TV Premium. It's the #1 live streaming sports service. It's celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. That's 13 ground ball outs for Lyles.
Ball 1 on Leonis Martin. Rockies all-time 11-11 against the Rangers. Played down in Arlington 2 years ago. The Rangers haven't been here since 2006, so there's not a player on the Rockies roster. Tulowitzki came up later in the year. Not a player on the Rockies roster that was around in 06, the last time Texas came to town. I don't know how many Rangers are left from 06 either. Good pitch.
Just spot pitches all night long. Wherever he wants it, he's been able to locate. Been efficient. 83 pitches here in the 7th inning. 57 strikes, just 36 balls. I'm not afraid to pitch inside with this fastball.
He's at 83, puts this inning down, you know, right here in the next couple of pitches. Decent possibility comes out for the 8th. Frazier's in the bullpen for Texas. Two and two count on Leonis Martin. 3-2.
Remember those sinkers that you were throwing to Chew earlier? Just throw a sinker down and away to Martin. Let him ground it into the ground.
Strikes him out. Jordan Lyles wins the battle with Martin, and the Rockies, as we go to stretch time at Coors Field, holding a 5-1 lead. Lyles has been terrific. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. It's a pleasant look back. Nolan Arenado in his first at bat with Cargo at second base. 2-run home run. 25-game hitting streak. And then Tulowitzki in the 5th. 2-run home run of his own with Cargo aboard on that one. Lyles has been terrific. Number of ground ball outs. He's allowed 1 run in 7 innings, just 4 hits, as he looks to improve to 4-0 on the year. 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies in the bottom of the 7th. Second inning of work for Sean Tollison. That's 1-0 on Drew Stubbs. Stubbs had a good ball game. Single and a double in 3 at bats.
If you're wondering if Sean Tollison is any relation to Wayne Tollison, he is not. Wayne's son is Steve with Toronto.
This ball clubbed deep center field. Did he get it all? Nope, just off the edge of the fence. And it's another double for Stubbs. He's hit 2 balls as hard as you can hit of baseball. That one just didn't get up high enough. He hit that on a line 415 or 20 feet.
And I thought the one he hit to right field off the wall was hit hard. This one was harder. Goes back to that first or the second at bat he had in the third inning when he stayed back, hit the curveball to right field to advance the runner. This time he gets one inner and he opens it, just drives this to left center. They got too much top spin. It kisses off the bottom of the wall. The left-hander, two lefties that the Rangers have in their pen.
Ball one on Troy. Ground ball to second, a walk, and that 2-run opposite field home run. You know, this is one of those nights where the Rockies have dominated on the hill, and they've had the 2 home runs. Out hit the Rangers 9-4, but it's still a 4-run game, and you'd love to get this next run in deep right center field, and that's gone. It went over the wall. Tulowitzki's second 2-run shot. Told you they needed a few extra runs. There they are.
There you go.
7-1 Colorado.
I thought for just a brief second that this ball went off the shoulder back of Rios in right field. It didn't. It just cleared the wall. Boy, that's tough to do, to take a pitch there, to hit it out to right center field. Watch Rios. This is where I thought it went off his glove or his shoulder. Jumps up, leaps, worried about crashing into the wall. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Excellent angle for that home run.
Ninth career 2-home run game for Troy Tulowitzki. Rockies 7 and the Rangers 1. Pitching change. scored 7 runs. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Best 12th birthday ever. Thanks, Rocks. It's turning into a great birthday, isn't it?
Another 7-run performance at home.
Got great seats, and the Rockies are putting a hurting on the Rangers pitching staff. Next up, be left-hander Aaron Pareda, called up a couple weeks ago from Round Rock. Good story. He missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. Last time he was in the big leagues was 2009 with the White Sox. Inside ball 1 on Cargo.
I'm sure there was some times thinking, wonder if he'd ever step back on a big league roster and field again. Parade, fastball, slider, changeup. Fastball 93 to 95.
Boy, Cargo's getting locked in. That's a well-struck foul ball down the left field line. He's got a pair of doubles tonight. Line shot down the left field line, and a booming double to left center field.
Well, he's also not trying to power it through the shift on the right side. If they're going to give you the base hits to left, the doubles, take it. With those doubles, he has 6 extra base hits in his last 7 games. He had just 1 previous in the previous 14 games.
Still nobody out in the 7th. Stubbs a double, 2-run home run, Tulo. There's 1 out. Nolan Arenado coming up. Auto glass damage. Call Safe Light 303-287-5000 online at safelight.com.
See, San Francisco tied it up in the top of the 9th inning. Now it's 10-10 in Pittsburgh.
Nolan hits it sharply at Wilson, who again is stationed basically up the middle. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Justin Morneau. Rockies had a couple of guests today that take up a lot of room on the field. A couple of Bronco tackles. Right tackle Orlando Franklin and left tackle Ryan Clady, though Franklin may move next to Clady on the left side of that offensive line this year. And here they are during batting
you don't
practice.
Understand how
with
big
Wall.
those guys are because they're sitting on that wall.
Yeah, that's Orlando on the right and Ryan Clady on the left. And a little while later, Justin Morneau came by because Orlando's from Toronto. And he's a huge, like every Canadian, he's a huge hockey fan. And I asked him, I said, you know, did you play hockey growing up? I assumed he did. He's from Toronto. He said, yeah, absolutely. And he said, I still, you know, get out there and skate. Hope I'm not getting him in trouble. But anyhow, the point is, Morneau, who's a huge hockey fan as well from Vancouver, after he was done with BP, they were sitting there chatting.
Can you imagine going into the corner against him?
No.
It's your putt. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you can have it. That's a base hit to left center field. And Morneau running hard out of the box. He's going to try for 2, and he's got himself a double. Just playing the game the right way.
Don't ever assume anything. 10th double this season for Justin Morneau. He hits it to left field, knows that Chu has a long way to go to his backhand. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just the hustle from Justin.
Jordan Pacheco. And he takes a strike. Jordan 0 for 3. Andrus has got it. In the inning, the Rockies get 2 more runs. Troy Tulowitzki with his second 2-run home run of the game. He joins Nolan Arenado and Charlie Blackmon of the Rockies this year with multi-home run games. Colorado 7 and the Rangers 1.
MLB, People Magazine, and Target are looking for outstanding teachers in your community. 30 teachers will be celebrated at the 2014 All-Star Game. Log on to allstarteachers.com to nominate your favorite teacher today. And speaking of an All-Star, how about the night that Jordan Lyles is having? 13 ground ball outs, just 3 flyouts, 5 strikeouts. And he's efficient with his pitches. 88 pitches, 60 strikes. So we're heading to the top of the 8th inning. So this has just been an absolute gem for Jordan Lyles.
He keeps throwing gems, doesn't he?
He does.
Last outing was a no decision at Arizona, but he gave up only a run in 6 innings and 3 hits. Tonight a run in 7 innings and 4 hits. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Elvis Andrus. It's the 7th time a Rockies pitcher has gone at least 7 innings a game this year. Daniel Robertson's in the on-deck circle. No Rockies pitcher, however, has gone more than 7 this year, and Jordan's trying to do that as he works here in the 8th. In the air to right, Brandon Barnes cruising over, and Barnes has it 1 out. So Andrus retired, and that'll bring up Daniel Robertson. High, ball 1 on Robertson. Robertson got his first big league start yesterday.
It's been his whole career with the Padres after being taken out of Oregon State. Saw him taking ground balls today with one of those flat gloves. I haven't seen that before. Yeah, I hadn't seen that before at the big leagues.
And that's off the glove. First baseman Justin Morneau. That'll be a base hit.
Just hit too hard and just too far out of the reach of Justin. On some leather from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, but not into the webbing, just on the strings on the outstretched arm.
Shin-Soo Choo's played more games than any other player who hails from South Korea in the history of the big leagues. Here's the first pitch, and that's going to be a base hit to left, his second of the game. Josh Wilson coming up now. Double-barreled action for the Rockies.
Well, you have both guys going out there, Adam and Boone Logan, because of who's on deck. You have Adrian Beltre next, so you can bring in the right-hander to face him, and then of course Boone Logan to face the left-hander Prince Fielder. But this is a good guy in Josh Wilson. He's a right on right. Mentioned the numbers, hitting below 200. Guy that you can get the ground ball double play, get out of the inning, and pitch your 8 strong.
The Ford Strike Zone is powered by Ford Cars, big MPGs, smart technology, and unsurpassed quality. See what happens when fun meets the road. Ford. Go further. So 2 on and 1 out. Wilson at the plate. Wilson 0 for 3, drove in a run with an RBI ground out in the 6th inning.
He was
strike,
but he was looking slider, because that was a pitch that's just eating him up all night long. But then it goes back to changing the pattern on hitters.
And at this level, you have to.
You have to, but where was that pitch? It wasn't a real particularly good pitch from Jordan Lyles. It's inside. It's a fastball, but the hitter's thinking it's going to be a slider. You lock him up.
Here's the slider away, 1-1. Two and 1.
It's number 100 on its way. It's a nice night. It's not too hot, too cold. He hasn't had to overexert himself too many times.
And temperature still in the 60s.
Still bringing it.
Yeah, good finish still on that fastball. Two. Is it hit hard enough to turn 2? There's 1 on the first. Double play. Great turn by LeMahieu. Tremendous feed from Arenado. And Jordan Lyles walks off. 8 terrific innings tonight against the Rangers. Rockies leading 7-1 middle of 8th. Jordan Lyles, first Rockies pitcher to throw 8 innings this year. He's thrown 101 pitches, and Lyles and the Rockies lead 7-1. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, as they've done tonight, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Jason Frazier's now on the hill for the Rangers, veteran right-hander. DJ LeMahieu's going to lead things off. 13th appearance for Frazier this year.
Yeah, .87 ERA and bonus 143, and it doesn't matter whether it's right-handed. Righties hit 118, lefties 167. Worked a couple innings and appearances in the LA series. Did not work yesterday.
DJ a base hit his last time up. Strike 1 on LeMahieu. He's 1 for 3. Also reached on an error by Beltre in the second inning. Called out initially. They had to review it. Tag was made as the throw was up the line a little bit. The ball came out of Prince Fielder's glove, and after the review, LeMahieu was awarded first base.
Still on the on-deck circle, Jordan Lyles. Nobody's warming up again in the pen. There could be a case, though, where
letting him hit.
Just let him hit.
You know, he's at 101. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think he'll go past that. I think it's just let him hit. You're down a guy on the bench where you might have to use him in a game at some point as a pinch hitter.
Oh, he'd obviously be the first option if you got into a crazy situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically the Rockies starters aren't going to go much above 100, 105, even on a great night like this for Lyles. Just all the research they've done in terms of long term, what it means, later on in the season, what it means. And you can give somebody a fresh inning, but we'll see. I mean, right now nobody's up. Though a moment ago, both Ottavino and Logan got ready. LeMahieu battling away. Here's the 3-2.
For a great deal, be sure to ask about the Rocky Sweet 6-pack with savings of up to 15% off the regular price. Go ahead and win the battle, DJ. Ninth pitch coming up.
See where the Padres designated Xavier Nady?
Did they? I missed that one.
Swung on and missed, so 1 out. And then Lyles will hit.
Oh, it looks like they're going to bring the trainer out, Kevin Harmon, to check on Jason.
Was Kevin there when you were playing for the Rangers?
He was in Baltimore, actually, when I was
playing for Baltimore.
Yes. This is ankle roll on the delivery.
It didn't roll. It's almost
right
like,
there.
oh, there it is. Ooh.
Right there. Yep.
I was going to say, it was almost like a spike got caught on the delivery, and then he.
He's going to try. Ron Washington, just to make sure you don't hurt something. We've all done that playing basketball where you roll it and it's like, ow, that hurt. And you just, hopefully the pain goes away.
Mike Maddox, Ron Washington satisfied. Nice round of applause, appropriate for Jordan Lyles' performance tonight. Outside, ball one on Lyles. Outfield's moved in. They may be too shallow. This is toward the hole. Jump throw by Andrus. Lyles, we've seen this before. He was a high school wide receiver. He easily beat that for a base hit.
It's his 5th base hit in 18 at bats. And once it got by Adrian Beltre, no matter what Andrus tried to do, maybe somebody else he'd be able to get him. Nope, no chance.
You know, you watch that, and Elvis Andrus is a tremendous defensive shortstop. And then you think about the throws you see Tulowitzki make.
Yes.
Brandon Barnes. They designated Nady to clear a spot for Kyle Blanks to come back from AAA. It's interesting because when the Rockies were in San Diego, Nady was swinging the bat really well.
Playing a lot.
Nady, who finished the year in Colorado Springs last year with the Rockies organization.
A former Padre that was designated. I saw Heath Bell the other day. Was designated for assignment.
Yeah, they get an ERA over 9. One and two. That's poked foul. Auto glass issues. Trust Safelight. Online at safelight.com. 303-287-5000. Their phone number.
Watching the reaction of that fan with the foul ball. Almost fell into the field of play trying to retrieve that.
This ball ripped to left field by Barnes. 2 hops to the wall. Lyles long striding it to third. Man, he can run. Were you watching him?
I was, but I was also thinking in my mind, don't
slow
pull
down.
me.
Yeah, I know.
I saw the stride rounding second base. But I said, don't get hurt.
That's what Stu Cole's probably telling him.
Yeah. Second double tonight for Brandon Barnes. Watch Jordan Lyles. That's what we're talking about.
You know what he looks like there? He looks like Larry Walker.
He does. Good call.
Second and third, one out for Stubbs, who's had a big game. A single and a pair of doubles tonight for Drew. Loud doubles. Banged one off the right field wall, banged one off the center field wall. He got a pitch out over the plate. Rockies 4 for 9 tonight with runners in scoring position. Rangers have had just 3 opportunities because of Lyle's dominance. They're 0 for 3. 7 runs, 13 hits for Colorado tonight. A run on 6 hits for Texas. Good eye.
Well, this offense, true to form, comes back after a loss. We talked about it in our open. The number of runs that they score after a loss, they're able to put it behind them, not think about it. No, today's a different day. A chance to get after another pitcher that had come in with glowing numbers at 4-1 at the 2.95 ERA.
At home, they average 9.3 runs a game after a loss. Amazing. Drew comes through here. They'll be at 9. Still going in Pittsburgh. Giants and Pirates tied at 10.
Mark Melanson gave it up in the 9th. For Pittsburgh trying to close it out.
Mark at a golden. Pirates with 2 outs have the winning run at second. They're still in a delay in D.C. Washington led 2-0 against the Dodgers. He got that on the barrel. High fly ball to right. This is going to score a run. Here comes Lyles. Stubbs with an RBI on the sac fly, and it's 8-1. He didn't miss that by much.
No, he didn't. Have a night, Drew Stubbs.
Speaking of guys having a night, Troy Tulowitzki. Last 2 at bats, a pair of 2-run home runs. This was the first down the right field line. And then he moved over a little bit to right center field. Took a pitch about knee high and drove it out. Rockies came in with a run differential of +31, so they're now at +38. That leads the National League. Run differential is one of those sabermetric. Yeah, it's not a fancy stat. It's pretty, it's pretty easy to figure out how many have we scored, how many has the opponent scored.
Basic math.
Basic math. However, it is a number that a lot of front offices who crunch all kinds of numbers, they look at to determine what kind of club you have. And basically, if you're even, you should be a 500 club. So to be just 33 games coming up on the end of the 34th game into a season, and to be plus right now, as I said, 38 is indicative of a really strong team.
And the next closest teams, San Francisco and Miami in the National League, are plus 14 runs behind you. They're at 24.
The best in baseball, Oakland, came into the night at plus 51. 3-0's in there, 3-1. Been a night of doubles for the Rockies. Got 7 doubles tonight. That's the 12th time they've done that at Coors Field. Last time a little more than 2 years ago against the Padres. That misses. Tula will walk to first. Second walk of the night for Troy, and that'll bring up Cargo, who has 2 of those 7 doubles. Frazier's not going to face Gonzalez.
We're going to go to Neil Kotz,
the other lefty in the Rangers bullpen. Rockies leading 8-1, bottom of the 8th. By authority of the Colorado Rockies, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. So Neil Kotz is on to face Carlos Gonzalez. There are 2 outs in the 8th inning. There's a run already home, courtesy of Drew Stubbs' sac fly that played at Jordan Lyles, who had a base hit. Brandon Barnes is at third with a double. Tulowitzki at first with a single. And for Neil Kotz, he's a lefty specialist, but the problem is lefties are hitting 368 against him.
7 for 19, and he also hasn't pitched very well out on the road. 1-2 with an 11 ERA and all 3 blown saves in the 8 games on the road.
Cargo pulls it, and that's a pretty good play by Wilson to take a base hit away. Wilson's made a couple of good defensive plays tonight. Rockies add on in the 8th. They have an 8-1 lead, looking for 3 more outs. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price. 8-1, the Rockies leading the Rangers on another pretty night. Lodo. Let's get it to center field. Jenny, Spilly, Sully.
Yeah, the Wise. Gotta like that. Coming up in the Toyota postgame show, I'm really hungry. What are we going to be serving?
We're going to have some Texas barbecue, Lyle style.
Oh,
Nom, 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 nom.
we'll see if we can't get a complete game here. What else is going on?
Too high.
Too low.
Too high. The trajectory was too high. That's why he hit two-run home runs by number 2.
I like it. And we'll talk a little hashtag Fuego Nado on Cinco de Mayo. How about Nolan Arenado extending that hit streak to 25? It's 25 for you, Drew.
Jenny, thank you. My goodness, I'd have been going home trying to count fingers and toes. Hey, Sully, I loved you in Monsters, Inc., by the way. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show. That was a little preview. And Toyota Talk, by the way, will continue throughout the Toyota postgame show as well. Jordan Lyles out there trying to get a complete game. That's pulled foul by Adrian Beltre on pitch number 102. Beltre tonight 1 for 3. Lyles' only career complete game came late in 2012 at Miller Park against the Brewers. A 4-hit shutout. Last Rockies complete game last summer, July the 13th at Dodger Stadium, when Tyler Chatwood beat the Los Angeles Dodgers that day. And the last time we've had a complete game at Coors Field, Jolie Chacin against the Cubs in 2011, and that's a base hit for Beltre.
Just in case, Nick Massett, who we recall today, has been getting loose in the bullpen. He's ready to go.
There's a pitch number 2 for Walt. And you know what? Walt's going out there. And he hasn't well, there he is. He is going to make a move. So Jordan will come out, and he ought to get a standing ovation. What a terrific job again tonight by Jordan. But also, he has been an anchor for this rotation. 3 outs away from improving to 4-0. Yeah, stand up and applaud. Atta baby, Jordan.
Plus only allows an inning and gives way to Nick Massett. Nick Massett signed with the Rockies in the offseason after 2 years not pitching due to injury, and now he has returned to the show.
You know, just the feeling of pulling in the parking lot and walking down the tunnel and, you know, kind of peeking into the stadium, seeing the green grass. And it's kind of a, you know, I'm just blessed to be back in the big leagues. It's been quite of a grind the last couple of years, and, you know, just happy to be healthy again and pitching.
And Drew and Jeff, you can talk more about his injuries, but this is a great comeback for number 37.
Oh, it's a tremendous comeback, and not only is it a nice story, but the Rockies really believe he can help them quite a bit. Tough guy, a lot of experience, and he's got good stuff. Here's Prince Fielder. First pitch back in the big leagues, 2 years at 93, just off the plate, ball one.
Well, he's had to deal with different types of injuries, too. Pitch from Texas, the White Sox, Cincinnati.
Beltre's at first. Now here's his situation. Pitched for the Rangers a few years back. Most notably with Cincinnati. Now he had right shoulder, he had a torn anterior capsule in 2012, missed the season, and then he had thoracic outlet syndrome. And if that sounds vaguely familiar to Rockies fans who aren't in the medical field, Aaron Cook had the same situation. In Cook's situation, they took out a rib, and Aaron worked his way back from that. They treated Massett's thoracic outlet syndrome a little bit differently, but it kept him out all of 2013. So he has not pitched in the big league since 2011. And on 4 pitches, he loses Fielder.
I'm sure there were many days where he was wondering the first time with the shoulder, would it heal enough to allow him to come back? And when that's feeling better, then he has the other surgery, misses a complete year. There's been some dark times, I'm sure, where he's questioned, yeah, can I make it back? And then when you get the call again to come back to the big leagues, as we heard from him a moment ago, just walking in, and I'm sure there were a lot of emotions running through his mind.
And right now, and that's probably why he's a little errant with the first 4 pitches. Here's Rios. And that's a strike. Listen to this, though. We all know how difficult it is to pitch in the Pacific Coast League, and specifically in Colorado Springs. There's a lot of hits, a lot of runs. 8 games down there, 7 2/3. Didn't give up a run. He only gave up 1 hit.
And that's why they recalled him, not because it's a great story, no doubt about that, but he was pitching. He was pitching lights out.
Good hard sinker just inside 2-1. Massett was very good in the spring. Missed a few days when his wife gave birth. But he turned heads with what he did in spring training. Wow, that's filthy.
And that's why you signed him. 93 sink under the hands of a...
Look how much this ball moves.
But notice how Rios tried to pull his hands in to get to that ball. Couldn't do it.
We call it a 2-seamer, but to your eye, it looks like a 1-seamer. Yeah, it's coming at the plate, right?
Right, and 2-seamer, sometimes you'll see that ball with the sideways spin as it's coming up there. If a guy throws it really hard, then you don't pick that up.
Double play ball. Good feed on the first. Beltre to third with 2 outs.
4th double play tonight. Had one in the 4th, one in the 6th, one in the 8th, and now one here in the 9th.
And look at this over at third base right now, because Adrian Beltre's at third, and Adrian going over and pat the young man on the chest. I don't know if he realizes that Nolan idolizes him, but he's probably saying, kid, you're really good.
And that's the respect that Beltre's given back to Arenado.
You gotta like that, man. Tells you a little something about Adrian Beltre also. This is Mitch Morehead pinch hitting, and he takes a strike. Mitch Moreland. Did I say Morehead? Morehead. Excuse me. Good curveball.
That was a great curveball. Dropping off the table, knuckle curve.
Oh, 2. And a bouncing ball foul. Another good curveball. Rockies fell 5-1 yesterday. Been 46 games at Coors Field. The last time they were held to a run or less. And they're bouncing back as they've done all year. Emphatically. And this is going to find an opening on the right side. Moreland will drive in Beltre. That run will be charged to Lyles.
Still just 2 earned runs for Jordan Lyles tonight.
Leonis Martin 0 for 3 tonight. I just keep looking at this bullpen, Huey, and the arms coming out of it. But and guys who work in the bullpen, they're going to have, you know, rough nights no matter what their stuff suggests. But the stuff across the board with, you know, the additional Logan, Chris Martin, Tommy Kahnle, Adam Ottavino back with that nasty slider. It's just vastly improved over a year ago. Hawkins down there.
Well, it also provides you with some margin of error. You don't have to be so fine. If you're throwing 93, 95, 97 miles an hour, you know, it's easier to miss bats. If you're 88, 89,
much finer.
Much smaller margin that you have.
3-1. It's a perfect place to get Massett back involved.
Well, it is. I mean, you're coming into the ball game as 8-1. You want to put them in a pressure pack spot. First game back in a couple years. They're also looking to win for the 6th time, the first game of a series at home.
Base hit to right now, and going first to third is Moreland. And the The Rockies are going to have to get somebody up just in case. Elvis Andrus coming to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
Adam Ottavino for the second time tonight. Jimmy Wright will come out to buy Adam a few more pitches, but at this point in Adam's career, he knows how many throws he needs to make to get loose. It's also just a deep breath, catch yourself, and just relax a little bit. That's what Jimmy's telling Nick. No matter how many years you have in the big leagues, after all you've been through, you still have the adrenaline rush and a little bit of nerves.
Down on the farm tonight in Asheville, one of the Rockies' better starting pitching prospects, Antonio Senzatella, a run on 5 hits in 7 innings. Here we go, Andrus, and this should do it. And it will. So Nick Massett, first game back in the big leagues in a couple of years, puts his arm around Jordan Pacheco. What a good feeling for him in a place he probably didn't think he'd be able to get back to. Rockies win it this evening 8-2 behind Jordan Lyles, who goes 8+ innings, allows a couple runs on 7 hits, 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. The Rockies improved to 20-14 as they take down the Texas Rangers, who dropped to 17-15. They hit a couple of home runs off of Martin Perez, who had not given up a home run all year. Perez drops to 4-2. So the Rockies win game 1 of this 4-game home-and-home set with the Texas Rangers. We'll see you tomorrow for game 2 of the Subaru Series, presented by Mike Shaw. Rockies win it 8-2. To center field we go, and Jenny.
Thanks so much, Drew. Rockies hit a